What's up is down, what's left is right. Chasing stars and holding you. I can't see the end, but we'll see it through. Flying, get on board. We're smiling on top of the world. Dangerous times, don't fly too high. Be sure to keep the ground in sight. Fly forever if you keep it tight. Love the world, but keep the sky on your mind. Flying.
Hey, good evening. Welcome to Silver Creek Elementary School. Today is January 14th for our regular school board meeting. At this time, I'd like to call the meeting to order at 6:34. If we would, please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance, led by Mr. Groan, followed by the invocation. Dr. Balmer. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Dear Heavenly Father, we're thankful we can gather here tonight. We thank you for all the wonderful blessings you've given our corporation, most of all our students who we get to serve each and every day. Thank you for our wonderful staff. If we're returning our students safely after a crazy break, we ask that you'll be with us tonight. Give us wisdom to make the best decision possible for our corporation. We ask that you'll continue to watch over us and keep us safe. Continue to send your blessings our way. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Amen.
All right, mission statement. Silver Creek School Corporation will operate with integrity, providing a safe, welcoming, and inclusive culture for our Dragon family. Through our dedication to academic excellence, we empower everyone to achieve their highest potential. As stewards for our stakeholders and community, we are committed to acting with transparency and accountability.
Thank you, Ms. Franklin. This time we'll have roll call. Mr. Basham?
Here.
Ms. McDonald? Or McDaniel, sorry.
Here.
Ms. Franklin?
Here.
Mr. Groan?
Here.
And I am also present. We have quorum. This time, since this is our organizational meeting, we do, as every year, we have election of officers. At this time, the president's position is up. Do we have any nominees for the president's position of the Board of Trustees?
I'll nominate Chris Roundtree.
All right, we have one nomination on the floor. Any other nominations? All right, Ms. Franklin has motioned and nominated me to continue serving as president. Do we have a second?
I'll
second.
All right, Mr. Groan first. We have a second. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Vote 5-0. Thank you all for entrusting me to do this for another year. Next up, we have the position of vice president. Do we have any nominees for that?
I'd like to nominate Christy Franklin.
All right, we have Christy Franklin as a nominee. Any other nominees for vice president? Hearing none, Mr. Groan has motion. Christy Franklin is vice president. Do we have a second?
A second.
Joe Basham seconds. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries 5-0. Next up, we have the office of secretary. Do we have a nominee for the office of secretary?
I'm going to vote Scott Groan.
And I'll second that.
Okay.
Any others? Hearing none, we have a motion and a second for Mr. Groan as secretary. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries.
Thank you.
Next up, we have the approval of school board member compensation. Compensation is, for us, is the state standard, which is $2,000 per year, $150 per regular meeting, and $75 for any special meeting or work session that is called. We have a motion to approve that.
So move.
Mr. Basham makes the motion. Do we have a second?
I second.
Ms. Franklin seconds. Any discussion? I would like to say that, just for the public to know, school board compensation is comes from Indianapolis public school system. So they set school board compensation for the entire state, but we just have to approve it. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, Motion carries 5-0. Next up, we have the appointment of school board attorney. I'm recommending that we reappoint John Mays with Bose McKinney and Evans, who has served as our school board attorney for the last 4 years. Do we have a motion for that recommendation?
I so move.
Ms. Franklin makes a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Joe Basham makes the second. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Those opposed, motion carries 5-0. Next up, the consideration of appointment for corporation treasurer and deputy treasurer. The recommendation is Ms. Allison Vanover and Ms. Becky Arnold, who are currently serving in those positions. Do we have a motion to approve?
I so move.
Mr. Gurl makes a motion. Do we have a second?
I second.
Ms. Franklin seconds. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries 5-0. Next up is considered appointment of the school corporation's executive secretary. Recommend Ms. Susan Westfall, who will serve in that capacity. Do we have a motion to approve?
I so move.
Ms. Franklin motions to approve. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Ms. McDaniel seconds. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Next up is the board appointment on the redevelopment commission for the town of Sellersburg. Do we have a recommendation for that? I'm going to say Scott served in that capacity for the last few years. I think he's done a good job. So I'd like to make a motion for Scott Groen
I'll
as the
second that.
redevelopment commission. All right. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Next up is the appointment of the legislative liaison to the Indiana School Board Association. Any nominees? I'd like to see Joe serving that personally, since he is the director of Region 10 and attends those state meetings.
I'll nominate Joe.
All right.
I'll second.
All right. Ms. McDaniel seconds. All right. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Next up, number 8, it's the establishment of bonds for the following positions. I'm going to read them with the dollar amount. First up, Assistant Superintendent CFO, $50,000. School Corporation Treasurer, $50,000. Deputy Treasurer, $50,000. Accounts Payable Specialist, $50,000. Bonds for 4 central office members at $15,000. School principals, 4 of those for $15,000. Extracurricular treasurers, 4 of those for $15,000. 2 athletic directors at $10,000. 2 assistant athletic directors of $10,000, and the athletic secretary for $10,000. Do we have an approval for those bonds to be established?
And just for clarification, when we have multiple positions, the amounts are in total? The
No,
bond
the
amounts are in total
bonds
or
for
each?
each.
Each, okay. All right. I'll make that motion.
Ms. Franklin makes a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Mr. Groen seconds. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right. Next up in your board packet, you should have seen the proposed school board meeting schedule calendar for 2025. Do we have a motion to approve that?
I so move.
Ms. Franklin makes a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Ms. McDaniel seconds. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Next up, there's nothing to vote on, but if there are any conflict of interest forms, as required by state statute, please make sure to get those to Ms. Westfall as soon as possible. Okay. He did show up? Perfect. Oh,
Taylor, I apologize.
all right.
Thank you for being here.
Next up. All right. At this time, myself, Scott, and Lauren, we need to stand and take the oath of office since we were newly elected. Yeah, he's got to do this.
Taylor, you want to come on up, please?
You do them individually or we do them all together?
Oh, yeah, go ahead and sign.
Yeah, you can do them all together.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
We usually do them all together. How you?
Perfectly fine. Wait, you want me to read?
Yeah, you read it. We have
You
to.
read it and they repeat after you.
Okay, so I read, I solemnly swear. I solemnly swear or affirm that I will support the Constitution of the United States of America.
They have to
I have to repeat, so.
Oh,
say it
copy
again.
it.
Sorry.
Kind of do it one at a time.
Gotcha. I solemnly swear
Scott Groen.
I, Lauren McDaniel, do solemnly swear
I, Chris Manfred, solemnly swear
or affirm that I will support the Constitution of the United States
Or affirm that I will
Affirm that I will support the
of the United
Constitution of the
States
United States of America,
the Constitution of the State of Indiana,
the Constitution of the State of Indiana,
and the laws of the United States and the State of Indiana.
and the laws of the United States and the State of Indiana.
I will faithfully execute the duties of
I will faithfully execute the duties of
my office as a member
my office as a member
of this governing body.
of this governing body.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Good job, guys. That was well. This was coordinated really great.
Can I see use your phone?
Taylor, thank you for filling in tonight. We really,
Yeah,
really
absolutely.
appreciate it.
Thank
We
you
know
so
it was
much.
last second. We appreciate you coming
Yeah.
out and doing it.
Yeah, I understand. Is this the only thing you guys need notarized?
Oh, are you a notary?
Yeah.
Don't you love? Yeah, being a notary is so great. You know, you just get called to do random things all the time.
Gave us one thing, German American Bank, for sending someone. I saw Becky Arnold, one of our notaries, was unable to make it due to illness, and unfortunately, while we have a backup, Ms. Fanover, she has not received what she needs from the state yet. So, German American graciously volunteered someone to come tonight.
Yeah.
That was nice. Yeah.
Thank you to them. Dr. Briggs, emergency additions and revisions to the agenda.
Yes, good evening. I do have, I believe, 4 recommended revisions to the agenda. We'll start under number 15, consent agenda, under letter B, personnel, under number 2, classified, under number 1, appointments. Recommendation is to add letter F, Scott Whitlock, instructional aide, Silver Creek Middle School, position control number 41013, effective January 15, 2025. Second revision is also under consent agenda, under number 2, classified, under number 4, leaves. Recommendation is to add letter C, Terry Williams, cafeteria associate, Silver Creek High School, leave of absence effective December 13, 2024 through March 7, 2025. Next recommended revision is under letter C, other requests for approval. Recommended to add number 2, overnight field trip for Silver Creek Middle School, Silver Creek High School bands, going to Indiana State University in Terre Haute, Indiana, January 24 through January 26, 2025. And the last recommended revision to the agenda is under number 16, discussion action items, under letter B, action items, requests for approval. Number 2, revision to the 2024-2025 school calendar, makeup snow days added. And that is it for recommendations for revisions to the agenda.
2 things, Dr. Briggs. One, under Katina Condon, we also
Yep, thank
changed
you.
tutorer from a tutoring assistant.
Yep.
She's going to be an actual tutor, correct?
That is correct. Yeah, it's a change in title. Thank you. I missed
All right.
that one.
And then just to clarify, under the revision to the school calendar, we had 2 snow makeup days from last week. And what we will be voting on, which was in your board packet, is January 20th and February, is it 19th?
17th.
17th, sorry.
correct.
January 17th, which were days that we were going to be out of school for holiday, and we'll use the snow makeup days then. All right, hearing Dr. Briggs' revisions to the emergency additions and revisions to the agenda, do we have a motion to approve?
I so move.
Mr. Groen makes a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Ms. McDaniel seconds. Any discussions or questions to the changes? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Next up, we have approval of the minutes from the December 17th regular scheduled school board meeting. Do we have a motion to approve?
I'll make that. I so move.
Ms. Franklin makes the motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Mr. Groen seconds. Any questions to the minutes that were in your board packet? All right, hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, Dr. Briggs, we have a couple special groups with us tonight, right?
Yes, let's start with Dr.
Yes.
Willman at the high school.
And we're already aware of this. We've made the board aware, most everyone, last board meeting. But we have a Lilly Scholar recipient, Caitlin Keiko Dahlman is over here. She is the Lilly Scholarship winner that's offered by the Lilly Endowment to Indiana residents, which provides full tuition, required fees, and book stipend for 4 years of undergraduate study at any accredited Indiana college or university, which basically means they don't pay for anything. They got it all. There are typically only about 140 or so awarded around the state each year. And we want to thank the Community Foundation who really went all out in recognizing her last month, as well as WDRB that covered that. So it was a rigorous selection process. So I'd like to call Keiko up here real quick and maybe talk a little bit about the process that she went through and if she's comfortable talking about where she plans to attend school.
Hi everybody, I'm Caitlin, or Keiko as most know me by. So the process, the application came out and I filled it out. Didn't really expect anything to come from it, but then I got an email. My counselor called me in and we opened the email together, and it said that I was a semifinalist and they invited me to do an interview process over at their building. So then I participated in that. I would like to shout out the Academy of Finance for preparing me for that a lot. It went really well. I had a panel of about 4 people interview me, and then they surprised me at school and told me that I got it. So it was really exciting, and it was really awesome to celebrate with all the people that were able to attend. And for where I'm going, I got accepted to Indiana University at Bloomington, and I applied to be hopefully accepted at the Kelley School of Business as well. So I should hear about that soon, later in February.
Awesome.
That's fantastic. Congratulations.
Thank you guys.
We have a certificate for you, and we'd like to get a photo with the board, please.
Okay.
All right, ready? 1, 2, 3.
Okay, congratulations, Keiko, and you'll do great at University of Indiana University, and I'm sure you will be a direct admit to the Kelley School of Business.
Next
Ms.
up,
Nunn?
Mrs. Nunn.
Good evening. I'd like to introduce, and if they want to come down and join me in front, this is our state champion cheer team. As they come through, how many of you just raise your arm as you're coming through? If you guys want to stand all the way down by that table.
Y'all stand right in front of me.
Yep, right in there. You'll fit perfectly. How many of you guys, is this the second time you guys have won state? How many times is this the first time? And the reason we don't have any 3-peats is because we don't even have any 8th graders on here. These guys will all be back next year. Awesome. So I'm going to go through, and I would like you guys to introduce yourself. And again, would somebody tell us what the blue trophy is for? First place for the large group cheer competition. That's what you got your state final or your state champion for. And then the red one is for the timeout, cheer. So congratulations. We are super proud of you at Silver Creek Middle School. If you guys come out, you'll see them cheer at different times throughout different games that we have for basketball and throughout the season. So let's start over here. Say your name. Oh, we're going to get a microphone for you.
Alex doesn't let us do it without it.
Lily Ross, and I'm in 7th grade.
Elise Davis, and I'm in 7th grade.
Adeline Shoemaker, and I'm in 7th grade.
Lee Blankbaker, and I'm in 7th grade.
Luna Stiller, and I'm in 7th grade.
Avery Wheatley, and I'm in 7th grade.
I'm Claire Crum, and I'm in 6th grade. Savannah Collier, and I'm in 6th grade.
I'm Riley Dawes, and I'm in 6th grade.
Emerson Kramer. I'm Charlotte Myers, and I'm Tinsley Drake, and I'm in 6th grade. I'm Charlotte Roberts, and I'm in 6th grade. Leanna Bean, and I'm in 6th grade.
And just for everybody to know, I did say use your cheer voices, right? So they obviously have quiet voices too. Thank you guys for coming out. Thank you parents for bringing them out and letting us show them off. And I'm sure we want to get some photo opportunities with you guys. So congratulations and thank you for all your hard work. Coaches, come on up and join them.
Thank you.
Did I hear there was a coach of Indiana among the tier coaches?
Okay, right here, me. 3, 2, 1. Got it. All right, thank you,
We almost done with this.
Not an 8th grader on it.
Huh? Is it on what? I'll let them clear out first. All right, next up, we have our community input. At this time, we have 2 currently signed up. If for some reason anybody else wants to sign up, just come up and, sign this form right here. Remember, when you come up, just state your name and your relationship as a stakeholder to Silver Creek School Corporation. First up, we have Travis Drake.
Good
Oh,
evening.
yeah, I'm sorry. Before I get started, we have a 3-minute time limit. Dr. Ballmer will be our time.
Yeah, I'm not going 3 minutes, but that's okay. Travis Drake,
But you got it.
Silver Creek Middle School teacher, also father of 2 dragons. I'm here just to discuss real quick the revision to the 2024-2025 school calendar, the makeup days because of the snow days. I don't really care about what days are made up. What I'm really here for is to talk about the reason for it. Obviously, we had bad weather, but we also have Chromebooks that could go home every night so that we could have e-learning days pretty much any time. The problem is we're not sending those Chromebooks home in all schools. Now, I'm under the impression that has changed this week, but it's a temporary change. Maybe I'm right, maybe I'm wrong, but that's something that we really need to think about. I'm just looking at the meeting minutes at the bottom. It says preparing all dragons for tomorrow. Well, how can we prepare them for tomorrow if they don't have their Chromebooks at home in order to transition to e-learning if we need to transition there? That's basically what I have to say. Obviously, we do a pretty good job weather-related. Obviously, over the Christmas break, we couldn't predict 2 weeks in the future as far as the weather, but it's not always weather. I have been around the school system long enough where we have other things that happen that cancel school. Tornadoes, pandemics, even water main breaks. I won't even go there because we had to do stuff at school because of water main break that I don't even want to say on here. Anyway, that has nothing to do with Silver Creek, but it can happen. But anyway, that's the reason for me to come up here today. I just ask that you all think about sending those Chromebooks home for every student every day in case we need to transition for whatever reason that we can do so. Thank you.
Thank you. Jen Gaddy? Sellersburg resident, right?
Absolutely. I'm actually following up from the last meeting. I had sent an email on December 19th, and I'm just going to read it real quick.
Sure.
Be the easiest way to go about it. I'd like to appeal to the board concerning the 24-25 school calendar, the discussion and the vote that occurred during the last meeting. My first thought before the board went into discussion was this is a great time to take advantage of the situation and get this district back on track for better success. I was disappointed that the discussion did not take a more in-depth consideration as to why New Albany and Prosser made the change to their calendar. I've had a student in Sellersburg School since 2004 and still do today. Yes, I'm old. I have watched many changes to the calendar, some to the detriment of testing results and community frustrations. Only a few may remember back in 2011, Silver Creek attempted to do the year-round calendar, and it was a failure. Not only did it cause difficulty for parents and young siblings, it did not have any educational value, and quite the contrary. Since that time, in 2017, Silver Creek took a modified approach by adding a fall break. Now there's 3 two-week breaks, and it still makes life difficult for families that work outside the school system. Many believe that putting extended time between learning makes it difficult to retain information or pick back up with the same motivation. Silver Creek testing scores and overall rank have yet to rebound to what they were before when utilizing the original calendar we all grew up on. For over 50 years, when families wanted to take an extended spring break for family travel, the student would go to their teacher, obtain the assignments prior to the break, so that they wouldn't miss out. They would do their homework or their assignments while they were driving in the car, in the hotel, or so forth. Today, Silver Creek has Schoology, which I'm sure I mispronounced that, and students have laptops, which makes it that much easier to accommodate and keep up when they miss a day. By not following Prosser calendar, it actually causes a greater hardship for Silver Creek families who may have a high school students with siblings in middle school and elementary. Breaking up the consistency seems to be less effective for the overall goal of increasing the potential for all students. By modifying the calendar now to match Prosser, it would avoid another year of unnecessary frustration for the community. I heard one member mention, well, maybe we come in and look at meals or busing for it. Why would we make it more costly and convoluted? It would not cost anything extra to switch now and could actually benefit the overall educational experience and increase testing results. Prosser plays a vital role for the future of Indiana's economic strategies, and an even bigger role for the future of many high school students throughout southern Indiana. They have been highly successful, and it would seem that through their statewide partnerships and studies, they recognize that going back to the original calendar is a recipe for greater success. Unfortunately, I left that discussion feeling that the board members were more concerned with their personal vacations that they're scheduled a year out than potentially positive overall educational value and results of the students. In today's economy, most people can't afford the extra vacations. I hope that you're not offended by this, but that you would reconsider the delay that you guys voted for. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Getty. Anyone else? All right, Dr. Bruce.
Can you mind if I respond to
No,
that? just a little
absolutely,
bit?
you're able to.
Thanks for coming and speaking, Ms. Gaddy. I appreciate your concern with regards to the calendar. A couple things I just want to address really quick. One, it wasn't a brief discussion about the calendar. Yeah. I think that based upon the timing and getting a calendar out, we had prior discussions a little bit about what we focus on, but I'll tell you specifically that nothing about the school calendar for me, and I mean, I'm not going to speak for the rest of the board, but just based upon my knowledge of their kind of insight and conversations, like nobody here is concerned about their own personal vacation. I think the reference was made in the meeting that families in general, as well as maybe a board member, had a vacation planned. And that's a consideration that we take into consideration for our staff, our parents, our family, and our community. I think I also mentioned in that meeting too that I think that we do need to have a broader conversation about the calendar, about, you know, why we want to have the type of calendar that we have and what are the pros and the cons of each, you know, calendar, whether that 2-week with the intercession week built in is good for those testing scores and to make improvements. That's what that schedule is originally for, is to have those 2 weeks, one for flexibility in the makeup, and then also to bring students back in during intercession weeks to improve academic testing scores. So that's a consideration with the calendar. Also, it's a consideration what our staff feels. And, teachers, there's feedback both ways. Some teachers like to have the 2-week breaks because they need that extra time to kind of decompress and reset themselves to kind of go back in. But there's a lot of factors that go into the school calendar. Number one, absolutely should be the academic piece of it. But I just want to make sure that we clarify that nobody on this board is preferencing a calendar based upon personal vacation, and that our discussions are extremely lengthy with regards to a calendar. Probably every conversation that this board has goes well beyond what a normal length of a conversation would be. Dr. Briggs could probably tell you that, Dr. Balmer as well. So we are going to have, I think, an extended conversation, and I think our goal is to put out a calendar for 2 academic years that's consistent, that families can plan for, that our students and community can, as well as our teachers. So we're going to have that extended conversation that you think that we should have. We've had a conversation before, but we will go over all of that again when we kind of future plan.
I just know students, if you look back at the history of the district, even with the West Park, the scores, Silver Creek was an excellent school, and when they did that, you can look and see how it declined, and I just feel like it hasn't been brought back up to the standard that it was.
And we appreciate people like you coming and talking to us, because that puts, for me personally, that puts that kind of that reference piece or that resource for me to utilize when making decisions, to make sure that, we do bring that up in our conversation. So we can definitely look at historical data and kind of see where we've been, and maybe if the calendar was a contributing factor to success, then we definitely would factor that into our decisions.
Yeah, and I think one important thing too is Prosser decided to make a change in their calendar even after New Albany Floyd had their school corporation had their calendar done. New Albany Floyd's not following Prosser calendar. And they're a subsidiary. They are managed by New Albany Floyd County Schools. But Prosser felt for some reason that they needed to make a change. And for us who had already had calendars, that last minute change, what our intent is what we said at the last board meeting, is to engage our principals and find out, if Prosser's going to have this separate calendar, let us have actual discussion and put out a calendar that makes the best sense for our environment, whether that is to follow Prosser's schedule or if that is to keep with the schedule we have, but to do that in a basis where we have a little bit more time, instead of, knowing 3-4 days before our board meeting when we already have a calendar that's been put out. When you get a notification that says, hey, by the way, Prosser has changed. That was a shock to all of us. And Christy's employed by New Albany Floyd County Schools, and they had a calendar, and then you hear right before the board meeting that they're going to approve 2 different calendars. So it was a little bit of shock for us too.
It is a key resource. And the other thing is too, like even with, if you talk to Director of Transportation, Carrie Cahafer, she also states that we have to provide breakfast for those students that are going down there. So we don't have a separate bus route for those students, unlike New Albany Floyd County Schools. So we then have to incorporate those kids. We just send out a bus route separate for them. Is a large investment that we do have to overhaul, and we do have to take all of these items into consideration. So, it was very.
And that's just where we needed more time.
Right, exactly.
I think this is going to come back up. Prosser more or less went to the change because there's only a handful of corporations doing the 2-week breaks now. I think there's a strong possibility in 2 years, Floyd County will go back to 1-week breaks. So I think there's 3 corporations doing the 2 weeks.
All right, thank you. Dr. Briggs, consent agenda?
Yes, consent agenda under number 15, we have letter A, finances. Under that, we have donations in number 1. We have number 2, grants in number 1. Under letter B, personnel, we have 1 certified. Number 2, resignations, letter A. Number 3, leaves, letter A. Number 2, classified. Number 1, appointments, letters A through F. Number 2, resignations, letters A through G. Number 3, terminations, letter A. Number 4, leaves, letters A through C. And letter C, other requests for approval, numbers 1 and 2. And that's it for the consent agenda.
All right, hearing the consent agenda, do we have a motion to bring that to the floor?
I so moved.
Ms. Franklin makes a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Mr. Groen seconds. Any discussion? Hearing none, all of those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries 5-0. Next up, under discussion action items. First, we just have a discussion item, which is the first reading of policies. You should have received those policies in your handbook. But for our folks joining at home and in the crowd, Dr. Briggs, do you want to go through the first reading?
Yes, first policy 1662, anti-harassment. This policy has been simplified somewhat. There's been some recent court decisions, specifically in Circuit Court 7. That's our district. What we've done is we've simplified the policy to reflect those recent court decisions. We've taken some of the details of the current policy and moved them into administrative guidelines, which administrative guidelines are what our staff uses to implement the policies. Those admin guidelines are posted on our website, and then once we update policy 1662, that will be posted on our website under the Neola policies. The other two policies, policy 6250, required ADM counts for the purpose of state funding and verification of residency for membership, and policy 6550, travel payment and reimbursement relocation costs. There's nothing new to those policies. Per these policies, they need to be reviewed and updated. They need to be reviewed and considered for updates annually. So I have these on here for the board to consider if they need any changes to those. As we sit here today, I have no recommendations for any changes in that.
Next up, we have under action items, we have two. First is the resolution of the School Board of Trustees, Silver Creek School Corporation, to hold a referendum concerning our building project. We've held the required public hearings. And at this time, this is the vote, Todd, right, to be able to put it on the ballot? Is that correct?
Basically, yes, this elects to have the public question that is governed by statute. Statute states how you have to state the question on the ballot, but this elects to put this on the ballot, yes.
All right. Do we have a motion to bring this to the floor?
I so move.
Ms. Franklin makes a motion.
I'll second.
Mr. Groen seconds. Any discussion?
Let's do it.
Hearing none, all of those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries 5-0. Next up is the revision to the 2024-2025 school calendar for snow makeup days, which was a emergency revision, which is making up the two snow makeup days from last year on January 20th and February 17th. Do we have a motion to bring that to the floor?
I so move.
Mr. Groen makes a motion. Do we have a second?
I second.
Ms. McDaniel seconds. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Next up, we have our committee reports. Principals, are we doing the last meeting of the month, or do y'all have something today? All right, perfect. I knew it.
There's always one.
Dr. Swearens is up.
Good evening. I just have one thing. I want to thank the Math Textbook Adoption Committee for their thorough review and evaluation of curricular materials. Special appreciation goes to Shelley Everhart, Andrea Anderson, Laura Ebley, Debbie Jackson, and Mike Day for their hard work. The committee has identified the top 3 vendors, Savis, Indiana Reveal, and Houghton Mifflin Harcourt, and we have requested presentation dates and quotes from each vendor. Do you have any questions for me?
Thank you.
Thank you. Dr. Swearens? I'm sorry, Dr. Waters? Dr. Briggs, anything?
Just a few things. One, congratulations to Keiko on her Lilly Scholarship. And congratulations to our cheer team, and thanks to all of them for coming out this evening. Thanks to our facilities team and our transportation team for handling the recent winter storm and getting everything ready to go, as well as getting our students with our modified bus stops here recently. Their efforts are very much appreciated. Welcome to our new staff. And then lastly, January is designated as School Board Appreciation Month. So I'd like to publicly thank our school board members. You guys are relentless in you striving to do what is best for our community, our students, our staff, and it's my privilege to work with you. So thank you for all you do.
Thank you. Dr. Ballmer?
Yeah, I just want to echo Dr. Briggs on our facilities team. It was quite a challenge with the snow and ice mix, but I thought they did an excellent job. They worked tirelessly to clear the lots. We got some additional help with the sidewalks and the main entries, but just it took a lot of work. So thank you to all of them. I also want to thank Carrie as well for the transportation. There was a lot of extra work that went involved with monitoring and modifying. So thanks to both of them. Do want to wish Mr. Poole, if you don't know, it's Mr. Poole's last day was last Friday. So just thankful for all his efforts and what he did for our facilities over the years, and thankful for Mr. Dole to step up as we work through the transition here. The position is posted, we'll work through replacing, but do appreciate Mr. Dole's efforts to step in and try to help fill that gap as we get to this time. And also just want to thank the board. It's a pleasure working with each of you. I know it's not always an easy job, but I can honestly say each one of you, your motives are true and pure for Silver Creek, and I'm thankful for that, and it's a pleasure to work with. So,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ms. McDaniel.
I just want to congratulate our scholarship recipient and congratulate our cheer team as well. And I'm so grateful for our facilities staff members. And I was just so happy yesterday to see my children get picked up and driven off on their bus. And so were they. It was lovely to be home in some ways, but it was great to be back. And I just wanted to say, for community members who come and share, thank you for doing that. And I personally actually was at the primary school filling 500 bags of popcorn right before Christmas break. And I had a room full of parents. And I said, well, while I have you here filling 500 bags of popcorn, let's talk about the calendar. And we took that opportunity to do that. And I do that pretty regularly in my PTO work, is try to connect with parents on what is working best for them and what they would like to see. And a lot of those parents that I'm friends with are also staff members. So I actually did that at a Christmas party. I'm probably the worst. So I just want you to know that I really do care about what you come to share about, and that I am considering it and thinking about it and doing my best to, when I have a group of people captive, I'll ask them questions. So, but thank you for coming, and thank you for sharing that with us.
Thank you. Mr. Basham.
If you've been paying attention to the paper, we got a new governor. And for someone that was an elected school board member, it appears like he's going to go after traditional public education. Don't understand that, but about a third of the bills that will be introduced in Indianapolis will touch education. What the final number will be, we have State House Day, February 18th. I plan to be there, and hopefully Chris' schedule will allow to be there. And over the next 3 months, I'll try to keep our public informed as much as we can, but we know they're going to pick on traditional public education again. That's it.
Ms. Franklin.
I just want to say thanks to facilities again. These two gentlemen down here, Dr. Balmer and Dr. Briggs, I mean, they worked all through that snowstorm. Carrie K. Hafer, amazing. Our bus driver's amazing. Carrie, I know, personally drove every route. It took her 5 hours the day before we came back to school to make those modifications to keep our kids safe. And you know, it's tough because as a parent, you know, you have to maybe change your schedule a little bit, or it's, you know, it's tough. But I would put my own children in the decisions that these people are making because they want to keep our kids safe. And so when we're asking kids to walk to the end of the road, you know, that's why we're having 2 hour delays and stuff on ice. And so I can't say enough. I know you guys communicated, you know, and kept us updated the entire time, but I know that each one of you guys were out at the campus, on the roads, doing above and beyond what you guys should have done. And so I really appreciate that. And I appreciate our bus drivers too, who are being diligent about making sure that every kid gets in a house and that they're not out in the cold. That's a tough job and a lot of responsibility. And so hands off to them. Carrie's got a really good team over there. So I'm going to keep it short, but that is just the one thing tonight that I want to say is I'm really, really appreciative of the operations and facilities team.
Mr. Graham?
Yeah, just sentiment to everybody else. Couldn't thank everybody enough. Congratulations to the award recipients tonight. And also shout out to the town of Sellersburg for helping us out with in our time of need. So it was good for them to help us out too.
Yeah, they did. They stepped up when we had some equipment go down, and came out and helped us clear parking lot. And you know, just to echo operations staff, Ms. Cahill, going and driving all of those routes and knowing where we needed to change pickups and, you know, which bus stop locations were covered in ice and finding a new one for students to get there safely. And then communicating those changes. I think we only had 3 calls our first day back Monday that didn't get the memo. So kudos. New staff, welcome. And Keiko, awesome job. Had the privilege to know her for a long time through volleyball, and I couldn't think of anybody better. Cheer team, congratulations. We expect number 3 next year, and we'll be back doing the same thing. And remember, school is in on Monday. No break. Next up, school meetings on January 28th. We have our School Board of Finance meeting right here in this room at 6:30, and then immediately following at 6:45, we have our regular school board meeting. And then our next scheduled meeting after that will be February 18th. Again, right back here at the group presentation room. This time, do we have a motion for adjournment? Mr. Basham makes a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Ms. McDaniel seconds. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Meeting adjourned at 7:19. Anybody is welcome to stay around. We have a work session.